Welcome to another evening of hand football here on Madison Community Television. Chris Wallach with Hal Levy for tonight's game. Tonight's game, the fourth of the regular season for the Tigers, and it pits the Hand Tigers against the Bulldogs of Bunnell, a wishbone team. And the last time the Tigers faced a wishbone, it was against East Catholic in the Double M playoff last year, in which the Tigers lost 14-12. So it should be an interesting affair this evening. And Hal, can you highlight the team a little bit for us?
Well, Bunnell is 2-0-1 so far this year. The Bulldogs started out beating Danbury 47-20. Danbury's only 1-2 for the year, but it's still the second largest school in the state, so you know there's a little bit of football talent there. Second game, Bunnell beat Stratford 29-14. Now, Stratford has also lost to Notre Dame of Fairfield, which is a team that Hand shut out in its opening game, of course. Last week, Bunnell played East Lyme, a pretty good East Lyme team, which is still undefeated this year, and came away with a 0-0 tie. But statistically, Bunnell dominated the game. It had over 250 yards on the ground. East Lyme never got past the Bunnell 45, but the East Lyme defense held when it had to. It held Bunnell inside the 20 a couple of times. Bunnell missed a field goal, and it was a scoreless tie.
So tonight's game pits a couple of undefeated teams. Bunnell Bulldogs, they're 2-0-1, and the Hand Tigers are 3-0, and we'll be set for the opening kickoff in just a moment. About set for the opening kickoff between the Hand Tigers and the Bulldogs of Bunnell. The Tigers looking to win their 25th consecutive regular season game this evening, and their fourth of the year thus far.
Bunnell so far under Coach Bob Mastroni, who took over in 1977, is 48-25-1, which is almost 667 for a percentage. Bulldogs have only had one losing season since Bob took over. He had been an assistant coach at Fairfield Prep before that. Tell you, Chris, this is the kind of a night where you see if Hand has it, because this is upset material right here. Hand is coming off a very emotional win over Maloney, a very good Maloney team. Did a great job defensively against Craig Durant. North Brantford looms on the horizon next Friday night. That's always a big rivalry game. It's Hand's first Shoreline Conference game of the year. Here's a game against an unknown quantity. If there's going to be an upset, it could be tonight. If not, you may see Hand make another trip back to the state title game.
Okay, so we're just about set to go. Mark Pedersen to do the kicking, dropping deep. Kevin Piggott and Matt Sullivan, and we're set. And the ball is fielded by Bob Duncanson at about his own 30, goes up to the 35, up past the 40, tackled down at the 42-yard line. So the Tigers will start with good field position, 1st and 10 from their own 42.
That was kind of a sailing kick. Bobby Duncanson did a nice job of picking it up. Bobby, by the way, we might want to mention before we get too far into the telecast, since his father's been all over us all week, Bobby is the man who made the hit on Q and Potts from Maloney last week when Potts coughed up the football. Hand recovered around the Maloney 10-yard line and set up what was the winning touchdown. We had Chris Bryce making the play. Difference is 32 and 82.
Here we go, 1st and 10, I formation. It gave us the Piggott over the right side, up over the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
Simple off-tackle play. Kevin Piggott's got 402 yards coming into this game. The heir apparent has taken over very nicely for Jimmy Bell so far.
Kevin Piggott, of course, looking for his 4th consecutive game of over 100 yards this evening. Duncanson comes to the bottom of the screen, 9 tight right, Sullivan in the slot. Rice and Piggott in the backfield. Sullivan comes in motion to the left. Thompson rolls that way, looking into Flatford. Duncanson has Scott over 45 inside the Bunnell territory, taken down at the 43-yard line.
The only guy even in the picture there was the official. The Bunnell secondary was playing well off on that particular play. They're playing a 4-4 right here, which is the defense hand used up until this year when they changed to a more conventional 52.
First down and 10. Strong right. Thompson rolls that way. No intention of doing anything but running. Lots of running room over the 40, down past the 35, and taken out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. They'll call it the 32.
He got a pretty nice block out there on the corner as well on that play from Kevin Piggott.
Second first down in a row for the Tigers. The ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Well, they'll have first down and 10. Opening minutes of the first quarter. Here it's the Hand Tigers and the Bulldogs of Bunnell. Bottom of the screen, both Duncansons. Thompson rolls left, going to run it again over the 30, 25, down past the 20, and knocked out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Again, some very, very good blocking by both his running backs. Chris Bryce and Kevin Piggott were there. They both went after the same guy. Kevin Piggott saw that Chris Bryce had enough to take him out, went downfield, made another block that sprung Thompson for 5 or 6 more yards. That's the kind of thing you like to see from your running backs.
Eric Zimmerman, the halfback, on the tackle for Bunnell. And once again, it's a Tiger first down. Ball at about the 17.5-yard line. Thompson marks out the signal, sprints right. Wide open is Duncanson at the 15. Skips past one tackler down to about the 12 for a nice pickup of about 6.5 yards.
Number 34, the safety, Eric Zimmerman, in on the tackle. Thus far, the Hand offensive line also doing a very nice job of keeping the Bunnell defensive line and linebackers away from making any plays. The secondary's made just about every play so far.
And that defensive line for Bunnell, they go at tackle with Jim Denton and Jeff Purvier, Dan Brazel, and Lee Casey. They are the defensive ends. Thompson gives the ball to Piggott over the right side, cuts back left, over the 10 to about the 9-yard line, about a yard short of the first down.
Joe Fazio, the inside linebacker, got in on the tackle there, but now you've got about a 3rd and 1 or so. Hand basically from right here should have 2 cracks, and you ought to be able to make it with this kind of a situation.
Bob Duncanson trots off the field as Matt Sullivan checks in. Bill Leckie is hurt, may not see action this evening. Third and a long 1 for the Tigers. I formation, slot left. Thompson on the fake, looking into the end zone, deep for Nye. He's wide open, but Thompson overthrows him.
David Thompson mixed up his cadence a little bit that time, and he had all 4 Bunnell linemen jump up on his first count, and then the second count, they get back, and he had both Matt Sullivan and Timmy Nye wide open. He just overthrew Nye by a couple of inches.
Fourth and all-important 1, ball inside the 10-yard line at about the 9.
Got to expect Piggott here.
Piggott gets the carry left over the 5. And
beautiful cut.
Kevin Piggott over the left side for the touchdown. And the Tigers quickly, with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter, have put 6 up on the board.
Great cut back inside by Kevin Piggott. Bobby Duncanson was there, just kind of threw a shield block, and 2 of the Bunnell guys kind of cracked into each other when Kevin made that little hip move, went back inside, and he turned what could have been maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain for just the first down into a touchdown. Nice run for Kevin Piggott.
Dennis Simmons on to try the extra point. Sullivan, the holder, Ciatti snaps it. It's good. Sullivan puts it down, and Simmons puts it through. So with only 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter, the Tigers have jumped on the Bulldogs on Bunnell. It's 7-0 Tigers. Deep for the Bulldogs.
Number 20, the deep end for Bunnell.
Thompson's boot is a short one. It'll be fielded by Pedersen at the 15, over the 20, over the 25, over the 30, a little bit of running room up the middle, up close to the 40-yard line to about the 39. So, Hal, the Bulldogs of Bunnell have good field position on their opening possession. 1st and 10 from their own 39.
Right, now we'll see the wishbone. And basically what Hand has to do here defensively is play what Larry Ciotti calls assignment football. And by that he means that specific defensive players will be assigned to go after specific offensive players. And we'll develop that as the game goes along.
Wishbone formation. Tigers haven't seen it since the East Catholic Championship game. And the give is to number 30. And you might have to help me with this pronunciation as we go along. Greg
Wojnarowski.
Wojnarowski. Wojnarowski carried the ball forward for about 3.5 yards. He'll be second and about 6.5.
Justin Murphy on the hit right there. The Hand tackles. Responsibility against this defense is the fullback, and to try to
second and call it 6, and it goes nowhere. Hand off to Mark Sikelski, one of the tailbacks, and he was hit hard at the line of scrimmage.
Right, leading the charge in there, and that time was Bobby Hughes, the other tackle. Again, as I was saying, the tackles have that inside responsibility with the fullback. Their job is to try to disrupt the mesh point between the quarterback and the fullback. The quarterback's first read is to the fullback, and the tackles have to try to disrupt that, make him start to force him outside to the other options. Fullback's a very big key to this offense.
3rd down 6. And the fake is to Wojnarowski. Slant pass across the middle is complete to number 88, Scott
Sturma.
Sturma.
S-Z-T-U-R-M-A. The Z is more or less silent. Left-handed passer. That was something we didn't know about Clayton Brown. He's only thrown 1 TD pass this year. This offense is basically a running offense.
Bunnell averaging about 5 passes a game. 1st down and 10. And the pitch goes out to Sikelski. And Sikelski picks up maybe 2. Call it 2nd and 8.
David Thompson on the hit there, and that's another part of the assignment. The Rovers' assignment on that play is the pitch man with the defensive end taking the quarterback normally. What you may see him do at times is to change up and have the end ride outside with the pitch man, and the Rover, which would in this case be David Thompson, coming inside at the quarterback. But again, it's all assignment football. They're making all the calls in the huddle.
2nd down, long 8 for Bunnell. And the give this time is to Pedersen. Tries the right side, picks up maybe 1. Bring up 3rd and 7.
Big Justin Murphy in there on the tackle on that play. This is one of those downs that we would say for a normal offense is a passing down, but you know, don't be surprised at all to see Bunnell run in situations like this.
Of course, with this wishbone offense, you'd like to get more than 3 yards on your first 2 plays, being that you don't pass the ball that much or probably that well, since it's a very complicated offense and needs a lot of work. This time the quarterback, Clayton Brown, keeps the ball stopped short of the 1st down. Ball now at about the 39-yard line, brings up a 4th down.
That time Timmy Nye, who was the end, faked as though he was going to go outside with the pitch man, came back inside, forced the quarterback inside, and then the linebackers coming across made the play on that. Ash Edwards was in there on that stop along with Dennis Simmons.
Scott Saturma to do the punting. Dropping deep is Sullivan and Thompson. And Sullivan will field this at about the 10. He'll come back to the left side, up the middle now, over the 15, 20, and he fumbles the ball. Sullivan fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Bunnell inside the 30-yard line.
Number 64, the man on the ball for the Bulldogs, is Jeff Purvier, I believe. Yep, Jeff Purvier.
Jeff Purvier, one of the co-captains of Bunnell, has recovered the Matt Sullivan fumble on the punt return. Ball is spotted at the 28, so a big break here for Bunnell. 1st and 10 for the 28. 5:10 to go here in the first quarter, and they trail 7-0. And straight up the middle, big hole for Wojnarowski.
And Ash Edwards in there on the stop for Hand.
Wojnarowski, the ball carrier. Edwards and Simmons combined for the stop. Gain of 6 to the hand 22.
And they'll give him 6, so it'll be 2nd and 4. And a mix-up on the play. Brown forced to go forward for maybe 1.
This is my right hand, this is my left hand, guys. The whole team went left, Brown went right. That may have been a contrived play, though, because he did have a guard out in front on that. Number 69, Dan Rich. Now, either Dan Rich thought the same thing Clayton Brown did, or else maybe that was a design play just to kind of try to fool the defense.
3rd down, all important at 2 yards for a 1st down. Ball just outside the 20. And the ball carrier Sikelski over the left side for the 1st down. Wynowski over there along with Sullivan on the tackle, but an all-important 1st down for the Bulldogs.
That's around the 14, and again, you're in a situation here with Bunnell, the Bulldogs in 4-down territory, and with this running offense, just got to try to keep it going, crank it out, and hope for the tie.
1st and 10 on the 14. As the first man through.
Which would have been the fullback.
Is that it, Hal? Wojnarowski?
Wojnarowski.
Wojnarowski.
Yeah, we'll get it right. Took me a while, too.
Wojnarowski. Let's say it 3 times fast. Wojnarowski, Wojnarowski, Wojnarowski. The ball carrier, anyway, picks up about 1. Bring up 2nd and 9 for Bunnell. Give once again to Wojnarowski, and he's hit hard at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Murphy.
Up a 3rd down situation.
Justin Murphy was the guy who just kind of stood Wojnarowski straight up on that play and then drove him a couple of yards backwards.
No gain, it'll be 3rd and 9.
Wojnarowski carries the ball about 1/3 of all the plays that the Bulldogs will run, so we'll be calling his name most of the evening.
He and Mark Pedersen each have 3 touchdowns so far for Bunnell this year.
3rd and 9. Fake, and the quarterback keeps the ball over the 5. Touchdown! Clayton Brown.
And that's his 4th touchdown of the year, and that's what the wishbone can do. You get some nice ball handling. The offensive line carries out its assignments. You get maybe one little breakdown someplace defensively, and you get a big play out of it, and that certainly was.
Pedersen on to try the extra point. The left-footed kicker puts it up and through. So with 2:31 to go in the 1st quarter, it's the Hand Tigers 7 and the Bulldogs of Bunnell 7.
It's the first time the Hand defense has been scored on in the 1st half this year.
And Pedersen's boot is short, fielded by Sullivan at the 20, 25, 30 to about the 32. So the Tigers will have their 2nd possession of the evening. 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
30 to the 32. Number 67, Jim Denton on the stop for Bunnell. 1st down Hand.
Now we'll see if the Hand offense can counter what Bunnell's offense did, just marching right down the field to score. Now it's the Tigers' turn, see what they can do.
High formation Tigers, slot right. Thompson pitches the ball to Piggott right side, behind the block of Murphy, cuts back now inside, over the 40, over the 45 to about the 46-yard line, and a Hand 1st down.
Excellent block on the outside by Justin Murphy, and Kevin Piggott once again shows the good balance and that great leg drive. He had a couple of people with shots at him, and he just keeps going forward. He is a tough little runner.
2 minutes to go, 1st quarter. Scott Duncanson to the bottom of your screen. Thompson pitches the ball to Piggott, right side again. Piggott slips outside this time and gets down over the 45, just about the 45-yard line of Bunnell.
That's
very close to another Tiger first down.
That time both Murphy and Bobby Hughes pulled that way and led him right around the corner, and when he gets some daylight, he's dangerous. Found that out in the first 3 games of the year. 402 yards. That's almost 135 a game.
Second and 1, Tigers. Thompson give the Piggott over right tackle, big hole, 35, 33-yard line. Kevin Piggott, another big run over the right side.
Yeah, that right side off tackle play has been open. That could have been a situation to a certain degree of Bunnell maybe playing a little soft figuring Thompson's got 2nd and 1, and that's kind of a free down. If David wants to put it up and go long, try to find somebody, and maybe Bunnell's thinking a little bit about this, and Thompson just kept the ball on the ground, moved it right down the field.
So just the opposite of the Han-Maloney game last week where it was 1-2-3 punt early. Here we have teams marching up and down the field. Tigers now with the ball at the 34-yard line. Thompson gives the ball to Piggott. Right side, they work once again. He slips up forward close to about the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 3.
Number 47 on the stop.
Jeff Purvier might have gotten a hand on his ankle on that play, because other than that, he might have just kind of slipped making a cut. Those are the only 2 possibilities there, because he looked like he might have gone for yardage on that play.
2nd and 7 for the Tigers. Scott and Bob Duncanson coming to the left side. Thompson rolls that way. He's going to keep it over the 30, over the 25, and knocked out of bounds. Inside the 20, they'll mark it at about the 19-yard line, and another Tiger first down.
Again, Kevin Piggott was out there leading the blocking, and David stayed behind him, kind of rode the block. Piggott got just enough of the man to give Thompson time to get by him. David turned on a little bit of speed and broke right down to the corner.
And Bulldogs of Bunnell have taken a timeout with 9 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We have a 7-7 ball game. Ball just inside the 20 for the Tigers. 9 seconds to go, first quarter, I formation. Scott Duncanson to the left. Piggott over the left side. Jumps forward for maybe 2.
This time Bunnell did something a little bit different defensively. They stacked 2 of the linebackers behind the defensive tackles, played like a double stack with it, and Jeff Purvier made the hit on that play, but it's the first time that Bunnell has really stuffed up a hand off tackle play at all.
And that'll do it for a first quarter action here from the Surf Club in Madison. And the Tigers have a 7-7 tie going with the Bulldogs of Bunnell. And we're set for second quarter action. Chris Wallen with Hal Levy from the Surf Club in Madison. We have a 7-7 tie going, and Tigers looking to break that tie. The ball is at the 18-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Thompson sprinting right, looking across the middle for 9. The post, incomplete.
David was getting a little bit of pursuit there from 29, Pat Gallagher, and he kind of had a little bit of time for a while there, and he waited for people to get open. It looked like he was looking at Timmy Sullivan, who came down and ran a flag pattern, and then he saw Nye dragging across the middle. The pass was low, was right where it should be to prevent the interception, but just a little too low for Timmy to handle.
3rd down and 8 for the Tigers. Thompson sprinting right, locks a room behind Rice and Piggott. Over to 50, up around to the 10-yard line, and maybe just short of a first down.
I think we got about a 4th and less than 1 right here, and that was definitely set up as a running play all the way. Thompson did have receivers open. He wasn't even looking for them. He was definitely going to make the run on that play.
Thompson finding lots of room to the outside, carrying the ball nicely 3 or 4 times thus far, and surprisingly enough, as we're into the early moments of the second quarter, I have yet to see a yellow flag.
That's a very interesting point. Yeah. 4th game of the season. By this time, they ought to have a lot of the kinks worked out, we'd hope. And so far, a very clean football game as well.
4th and 1. Thompson sprinting left. Has some trouble finding room for the first down and won't get it. So the Tigers are stopped. The Bulldogs have stopped the Tigers at about the 11-yard line. Thompson losing 1, and on downs, the ball will turn over to the Bulldogs.
Thompson made his decision to cut back in just to maybe a little bit too late. He looked like he all of a sudden realized he was not going to get the first down going to the corner and figured, well, maybe if I cut it up, I'll get it. And and the pursuit came across and caught up with him very nicely on that play. A nice defensive play for Bunnell, and the Bulldogs take it over.
Bit surprised that the Tigers didn't go more up the middle to Piggott, who's been getting 1 yard for him or more all season long, but they decided to have Thompson spread out, and a big hole for Wojnarowski, or no N in there, right?
Right. I guess the N is silent or something. Too many letters in it anyhow.
Wojnarowski, and I would have to mention his name a third of the night, so I better start getting it right.
He's the fullback. He's the first option on that on the wishbone, and the hole was there for him.
First down, 10, 25. And once again, it's Wojnarowski.
This time a little bit better job. Bobby Hughes came over, sealed it off a little bit more quickly, and Dennis Simmons also in there on the tackle and nose guard.
Pick up a 5, call it 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs.
That's the play they've got to stop, though. You've got to stop that play for a 2 to 3 yard gain on first down if you want to have any real success with stopping the wishbone.
And this time, Clayton Brown will keep it and get the first down up close to the 40-yard line.
That's that same play that did not work particularly well before, with the entire team coming left and Clayton Brown going right with just a little bit of escort service from Dan Rich, who's one of the alternating guards. He pulls that way. Everybody else goes the opposite way. This time it worked for a first down.
10 minutes to go in the first half. 7-7 ball game. And Bunnell driving the ball upfield. The give this time is to number 20, Mark Pedersen, and he's hit hard behind the line of scrimmage.
The time the two Tiger defensive tackles, Justin Murphy and Bobby Hughes, came cracking through. He had a little bit of a stunt on that time, which is something Larry Ciotti said he'd do to try to disrupt the offense a little bit. That time the stunt worked to perfection. Tigers nailed Pedersen in the backfield.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs. And a slant once again. This time falls incomplete.
Intended for Scott Sturmer, the tight end, coming across the middle. And this time the trap pass was a little bit low. Hand defensively against the pass is playing almost entirely man-to-man because, again, of this assignment football situation. So wherever the pass goes, you're only going to have one defender. You're not going to double team. Although East Lyme did try to double team both receivers last week.
3rd down, 11.
This time Hand is double teaming on the outside.
And a pitch comes out to Sikelski. He's dragged down at the 35 by Timmy Nye.
Tim Nye, outstanding defensive play on that, because if Sikelski hit the corner on that play, he had some yardage. The Tigers were on the outside, double teaming Stan Bike, who was the wideout on that play, and then Bike just came down and threw a block. So he took a couple of people out of the way with him. But as it turned out, Timmy Nye, an outstanding defensive play, and Bunnell is forced to punt.
So Scott Sturma will stand at his own 22-yard line and look to punt it deep. Sullivan and Thompson back, a little bit of pressure. He gets it off the side of the foot, bounds down at about the 47, comes back, a hand bounce, and covered at about the 48. So good field position for the Tigers. They take over 1st and 10 from the 48 with 8:49 to go here in the first half, and the score is 7-7.
Also give Hand another good operating position, and thus far the failure to convert that 4th down hasn't hurt.
Hand starts 1st and 10 from its 48.
Scott Duncanson to the bottom of your screen. In the slot is Sullivan. Thompson rolls right, looking for Duncanson on the hook, and it falls incomplete.
Kind of threw that ball a little bit low on that, but again, he was getting a little bit of pressure as well. This is a reasonably decent-sized Bunnell team, not huge by any means, not as big as Maloney was last week, and probably not as big as a couple of other teams the Tigers have faced, but reasonably good size for a high school football team. It's certainly very well drilled.
2nd down, 10 for the Tigers. Bob Duncanson in the slot left, Nice tight left. Thompson looking long, being pressured, gets away from one tackler. And he's taken out of bounds for a big loss at about the 40-yard line.
Bunnell had a blitz coming that time. The Tigers picked up a little bit of it, but they didn't pick it all up. And we just got our first flag. We got a flag over on the far side. That could be an unsportsmanlike of some sort because David Thompson kind of fired the football in disgust. I don't know if it's going to go against him or if it's going to go against somebody from the Bunnell bench.
For 82, Dan Brazell had a hold of Thompson's jersey, and as he slung him out of bounds.
I believe this is going against the Tigers.
Ball is against the Tigers, and it'll be stepped off. Ball be marked just inside a 25-yard line.
It's bringing up your basic 3rd and 33 play. I don't think you have too many in the playbook for that. Send everybody deep and hope.
Sullivan checks in. Bob Duncanson alternating at wide receiver for the injured Bill Leckie. Hand has not been in this situation much over the last couple of years, 3rd and 33.
They're going to run the shotgun, and Kevin Piggott's the only guy in the backfield.
Bryce comes out in the slot. Thompson sets up a screen to Piggott, but there's no blockers out there.
Well, he had to throw that a little bit quicker than he wanted to. He was under a real big rush because Joe Fazio, the linebacker, blitzed on the play. And when you have a blitz along with a screen pass, it's going to disrupt your timing just enough so maybe the line didn't get a chance to get out there in front of Kevin Piggott on that play. That'll bring up a punt situation with 4th and a whole bunch.
Tigers will be forced to punt here. Thompson is standing back close to his own 15. And that's Mark Pedersen deep inside his own 40. Thompson's boot is to the right of Pedersen. Takes a Tiger bounce down to the 26. Pedersen picks it up there, crosses the 30, and up close to the 35. Ash Edwards over there, along with Timmy Wynowski.
And had pretty good coverage on that punt because basically with that bounce, David outkicked the coverage, which is why Pedersen had a chance to pick it up and run it back. But the Tigers got over and covered very well. At the same time, Bunnell is also going to start with much better field position than it did last time. Last time Bunnell was around the 11-yard line. This time it's out around the 35.
1st and 10, 2 split ends for Bunnell. And it's Pedersen. Takes the ball up to about the 40-yard line, pick up a 5, bring up 2nd and 5.
That's perhaps the first time all year I've seen somebody knock David Thompson backwards. And Thompson hit Pedersen, Pedersen stood still, and Thompson went backwards. And that's kind of unusual because David is a very rugged individual who does hit very, very hard.
Second and 5 for the Bulldogs. Clayton Brown drops back and looking deep, and it's overthrown. The pass intended for Eric Zimmerman.
Kevin Piggott was kind of playing center field free safety on that play, and he came over to cut it off. But if the pass had been on target, Zimmerman would have caught it because he had a couple of steps on the man on the other side who was covering him.
3rd down 5 for Bunnell as they break the huddle quickly. 6:37 to go, first half, 7-7 ball game. And over the middle, intended for Sturma. In and out of his hands.
It'll be 3rd and 5.
That was a very nice play. Definitely would have been a first down, and possibly a little bit more than that. Scott Sturma tried to run before he caught the ball.
Sturma back to punt. Piggott and Thompson drop deep. They'll stand about their own 25, and a boot is a beauty. Good hang time, fielded at the 25 by Piggott over the 30, 35, 40, still on his feet, up to about the 41-yard line, 42-yard line, and the Tigers will have good field position.
Nice run back by Kevin Piggott, sprung by a block by David Thompson. Clock's starting to wind down here a little bit in the first half. It'd be nice to see the Tigers put one in before halftime.
High formation, Bryce still in there at fullback. Bigot still at tailback. And the pitch goes his way, left side, up to about the 48-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Bigot. Looked like the play might be stopped close to the line of scrimmage.
Nice block by Ash Edwards pulling out. He went to the outside, threw a nice block, and Jim McGooey was on the outside also blocking on that play, and Bigot cut between them and then ran over a couple people to gain some yards.
And for the first time this evening, we'll see Leckie at split end as Scott Duncanson checks out. Leckie comes to the bottom of the screen. Sullivan in the slot. Second and a long 4, and they're looking for Leckie deep. Thompson airing it out. And broken up nicely by 34, Eric Zimmerman.
Zimmerman did a good job on that play. Billy Leckie might have been in line for an offensive interference call on that. He cut inside, and it looked like he kind of gave him a shoulder with on one side while he was trying to catch the ball.
Bill Leckie also looked to almost outrun that ball, as I don't think Thompson got everything on it, although the wind is in his face a bit as the Tigers move left to right. But it didn't appear that he got everything he wanted to get on that ball.
Yeah, and he may have also figured that because Bill's limping a little bit that maybe he didn't quite have that much speed.
Third and long 4, quick slant to 9, broken up nicely by number 29, Pat Gallagher, the right cornerback for the Bulldogs.
That was that slanted pass that Bunnell has run pretty well, intended for Timmy Nye, but you're throwing that into a 4-4. The linebacker has a little bit better shot at it than the way Hand is playing his defense.
Fourth down, punting situation for the Tigers. Thompson stand at his own 37. Ederson drops deep as well as Stan Bike, and Thompson angling it for the left side. Fielded by Bike at about the 13, and he's taken down by Timmy Wynoski.
Nice punt by Dave Thompson on that. That ball hung in the air for about 50 or 52 yards, and Wynoski was right there to make the play.
We'll spot the ball at the 14-yard line, so a nice punt, nice defensive play by Wynoski as Bunnell deep in their own end with about 5 minutes to go here in the first half in a tie ball game.
Key defensive series here for Hand if it wants to have a chance to get the football back before the half.
First and 10. Wojciechowski, the ball carrier, falls forward for maybe 2.
Justin Murphy, big play right there, rode his blocker right off. Kind of went over his blocker actually on that play. Stopped Wojciechowski for about a 2-yard gain. That's a good sign on first down.
Second down 8. And once again, Wojciechowski, the ball carrier, picks up another couple. Maybe 3 this time. We'll call it 3rd and 3.
Bobby Hughes, Ash Edwards both involved in that play. And Justin Murphy, I think, is going to get a little bit of a star on that one on the films because he undermined a couple of people who were coming out to block, and he wound up about 2 yards on his belly, about 2 or 3 yards into the backfield on that play. Good play there.
Third and long 3 for the Bulldogs. And a slant once again to Sturma, and he gets the first down up close to the 30-yard line.
Thus far, Bunnell passing more than it has in the first 3 ball games, and thus far it has thrown, I think, only 2 different patterns. One, that long one going for 6, and everything else has been that slant to Sturma across the middle. That time it worked for the first down.
3:30 to go, first half. Wishbone offense for the Bulldogs. And once again, a pass. It's going deep for Zimmerman. Sullivan there also breaks it up nicely at the 35.
Now that one again was a situation where Zimmerman could very easily have been called for offensive interference because Matt Sullivan was in excellent shape to be able to make an interception there. The ball kind of hung up in the air. It was a little bit short. Sullivan's already got several picks this year, and he had a chance for one right there, and Zimmerman sort of turned around and wound up playing defender on that play.
Second down 10, 2 split ends. for the Bulldogs. Clayton Brown marking out the signals. Fakes to Wojciechowski, comes down the line, cuts inside of Thompson. Sullivan on the hit with help from Bryce. Taken down at about the 41-yard line for another Bunnell first down.
That, to a certain degree, was Chris Bryce kind of banging himself in the head on that play, because he was the guy who let the containment get away, gave Brown that shot to get to the outside, and then he wound up coming back and making a good defensive play, but it was about 12 yards downfield when he did it.
1st and 10, under 3 minutes to go, first half. Getting cold here at the Surf Club. And the give is to Sikelski. Martin Sikelski, the 5'9", 170-pound senior, is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And once again, coming off, Murphy and Hughes coming off the bottom of the pile. Those two kids in the middle doing a very nice job at the defensive tackles. Although Bobby Hughes now playing over the nose. He's playing the nose man at this point.
2nd down 10. And nowhere to go from Brown. He falls forward, close to the line of scrimmage.
Time Hand had 11 football players working their assignments to perfection. He had absolutely nothing he could do, and it all collapsed on him.
Loss of 1 on the play, brings up a 3rd and 11 as Pegnataro checks in for Ciotti.
This is a big play right here for the Tigers. Minute 54 left. They've kind of got to stop this, force a punt if they want to have a shot at scoring in this half.
Slant again. This time in and out of the hands of Sturma at the 47, 48-yard line. Thompson and Edwards over there.
That time Hand defensed it just right and forced the punt with a minute 43 left to go. Tigers, assuming a run back, could get the ball in half-decent field position here.
Thompson and Piggott drop deep. Standing at around the 25. Sturma being pressured, run into by Nye. Ball falls down at about the 39-yard line. So with a minute 35 to go in the first half, the Tigers will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line.
Time Sturma did what Johnny Most calls a Stanislavski. He took a little tumble, hoping to catch the roughing the punter call, and nobody got taken in by it.
Clock counting down. 1:20 to go, first half. 2-minute drill time for the Tigers. Thompson sprints right, looks for Leckie on the square out, and it's incomplete at the 45.
It's like Hand is not content here to go in with a 7-7 tie at halftime. They're putting it up. They want to see if they can get some points. As far, Dave Thompson has not been throwing the ball with that pinpoint accuracy that we've sort of come to expect of him over the course of 4 years. But now he's still got a little time left. We'll see what he can do here.
Shotgun formation on 2nd and 10. Thompson forced out of the pocket, rolls right, being pursued, turns the corner, up over the 45, up over the 50, inside Bunnell territory, knocked out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Enough for a Tiger first down. Minute 6 to go, first half.
Dave Thompson just simply hurdled one guy, ran away from a couple of other people, and finally Stan Bike threw a rolling block into him and knocked him out of bounds. But that also stops the clock because he did get out of bounds on the play. Minute 6 left to go here in the first half.
Leckie comes right. Sullivan split out in the slot, though, left. Shotgun formation once again. Thompson straight back, across the middle of the 9, wide open at the 40, and taken down at about the 37-yard line. 3 men taking Nye down there. Eric Zimmerman over on the tackle, as well as the co-captain Jeff Purvier.
We've got an official's timeout because that's very close on the first down. Now Hand called a timeout as well, which maybe the Tigers didn't have to do. They are moving the change for the first down.
They have 2 remaining.
So the Tigers will have 2 timeouts left, that one being their first of the season. We got 56 seconds to go here in the first half. And it's a 7-7 ball game. First half action, 1st and 10. Thompson sprints left, looking deep for Timmy Nye.
He's there.
Nye trying to take the ball away from number 21 for Bunnell. That's Stan Bike. Nye trying to use his height to take the ball away, and almost did so down at about the 10-yard line.
Stan Bike's one of only 2 players from Bunnell who goes both ways. Bob Mastroni has worked very, very hard with his ball club trying to develop a two-platoon system. And Bike and Pedersen, the 2 safeties, are the only 2 who start both ways.
2nd and 10, shotgun formation. Plenty of time across the middle. Nye wide open at the 30. Looks for a block from Lecky. Can't get out of bounds. Taken down by number 34, Eric Zimmerman.
That time, Bunnell had a blitz going. They had a lot of people coming. Hand picked it up extremely well. Nobody even came through that line of scrimmage at all. Thompson had the time, and he got that pass inside the 9.
Nye not being able to get out of bounds, but close enough for the first down to stop the clock and get a measurement.
Hand may also have called a timeout on that play.
And it's enough for a first down. So with 39 seconds to go here in the first half, the Tigers have a first down and the ball at about the 27-yard line. And now the Tigers call a timeout. So there's a timeout on the field. 39 seconds to go in first half. It's the 2nd-ranked Hand Tigers 7 and the Bulldogs of Bunnell 7. He split left. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Pitch to Piggott, right side. Gets a big block from Murphy. Up close to the 20 to about the 21. Doesn't get out of bounds. Clock continues to run under 30 seconds now. 25, the Tigers line up quickly.
Number 21 on the stop for Bunnell.
He'll throw on this play.
Bob Duncanson, slot right. Lecky on the square out. Falls incomplete, but that'll stop the clock with 16 seconds to go. The annual football parents dance will be held on Saturday, October the 27th from 9 to 1 at the Hammonasset School. Music provided by Big John Seville and his DJ show. Alumni parents are invited to come along with everybody else. I know Hal Levy, you'll probably be there.
I've been to a couple of the Tiger Rag is a good time.
Piggott over the middle, has the ball inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line, and the Tigers will have the ball at the 13-yard line with 10 seconds to go, and they'll call their final timeout here of the first half. So with 10 seconds to go, the Tigers will talk it over, and the score 7-7. Ten seconds to go, first half. Big play here for the Tigers. No timeouts left.
Be looking for Timmy Nye here. And he is open.
Nye in the corner. Touchdown, Tigers. Timmy Nye on the touchdown reception, beating Stan Bite in the corner. And the Tigers, with 5 seconds to go here in the first half, have added 6. It's now 13-7, and Simmons on for the extra point.
Timmy Nye just simply ran an out pattern that time, and he's got a 6'5" frame, and David Thompson laid the ball in there perfectly. Absolutely no problems with that one, and the Tigers run another 2-minute drill and score a touchdown. Cut this one a little fine. 5 seconds left.
And Simmons' kick is good, so the Tigers have a 14-7 lead with 5 seconds to go here in the first half. Thompson set to boot.
Look for the onside or short kick.
Squib up the middle, and it's fielded by number 82. That's Dan Brazell, and that'll just about do it. We got 3 seconds to go. One play for the Bulldogs.
Kickoff at the 36-yard line.
What he did there was it wasn't quite an onside kick, but he kind of bounced a squib kick, basically just to prevent the run back. Now we see if what Bunnell is calling timeout. Bulldogs either didn't have enough men on the field or no, That's the end of the first half. They were trying to call a timeout because they didn't have enough men on the field, and the clock ran down.
So that'll do it here in the first half from the Surf Club in Madison. The second-ranked Tigers head to the locker room. They lead the Bulldogs of Bunnell from Stratford by a score of 14-7. Between the Hand Tigers and the Bulldogs of Bunnell, Thompson set to boot. And Pedersen will field the ball at the 20, over the 25, looks for room up the middle, big hole, 35, tries to cut the outside, slips down at about the 36-yard line. So the Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10 from their own 36.
Mark Pedersen got to the outside on that. He was gone, too. He saw the cut, and he just kind of banged his helmet a little bit in disgust because he slipped himself making the cut to the outside. He had 3 hand people who were going to overrun him on the play.
1st and 10 from the 36 for Bunnell. Backfield, it's Sikelski, Pedersen, and Wojciechowski. Clayton Brown, hands off to Pedersen over the 40 to about the 41. Pick up a 5 on the first play.
Just simply a misdirection play, and Dave Thompson was out there, wound up making the tackle, but not until a 6-yard gain on the play for Mark Pedersen.
First half statistics, total yards for the Tigers, 187, only 99 for Bunnell. 79 of theirs were on the ground. Thompson was 7 for 15 for 71 yards. Piggott, 14 carries, 80 yards. So he'll be looking for 20 to get over the 100-yard mark for the 4th consecutive game. This time it's Sikelski up over the 45 to about the 46. Appears to have enough for a Bunnell first down.
Yeah, right in front of us he does. Dennis Simmons made the hit on that play, and in 2 plays, Bunnell has picked up the 10 yards it needs for the first down, starting to pick up where it left off in the first half, marching the ball on the ground. That wishbone is giving Hand a little bit of trouble.
So it is a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. And as Hal mentioned, they're having trouble with the wishbone. That's Sikelski over the left side. Picks up maybe 2, bring up 2nd and 8. First half scoring, Tigers jumped out in front 3 minutes into the ball game with a 9-yard TD run by Kevin Piggott. Simmons' extra point was good, and it was 7-0. Then Clayton Brown threw a 14-yard TD with 2:31 left in the first quarter, and Pedersen kicked the ball, make it 7-7. Then with 5 seconds to go in the first half, Thompson hit 9, a 15-yarder to make it 14-7. This time over the left side, Pedersen, big hole, rambles down over the 20. 9 knocks him out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So Bunnell moving the ball here early in the 3rd quarter.
Sturmer was outside, made a real fine block to give Pedersen about an extra 18 or 20 yards on that play when it looked like Tigers maybe had a shot to stop him with a 10-yard gain. And now Bunnell threatening just outside the 10-yard line, around the 13, I think is where they're going to mark it, the 14-yard line, make it.
Bunnell threatening to tie the game up here, opening moments of the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 from the 14, and a fullback with the carry picks up maybe 2. Call it 2nd and 8.
Wojciechowski carried the ball on that play. Rob Pegnataro and Bob Hughes in on the stop. That's the kind of defense Hand needs to see.
And the last time the Tigers had this type of trouble on defense, who will remember, was that Double M championship game last year when they lost to East Catholic 14-12. 2nd down and 8. And Clayton Brown on the option, keeps it himself up over the 5.
He's probably get the first down. If he doesn't, he's pretty close. No, they're going to mark it about a yard short. Bunnell doesn't have the outside speed that East Catholic had with Zachary and Post, both of whom ran very well. But the fullback inside has been hurting a little bit, and they've got enough pop to get to the outside to make a couple of plays work, and Clayton Brown has proven himself to be a dangerous runner also.
The ball is inside the
Ball resting at about the 4-yard line. 3rd down, less than 1 for a Bunnell first down.
Watch the fullback.
And it is the fullback, Wojciechowski. He pulls forward for the touchdown. So the Tigers had scored less than 3 minutes into the ball game. Now less than 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. The Bulldogs have put 6 more on the board, and it's 14-13. And Pedersen will look to make this a tie ball game here in the 3rd quarter. Pedersen, a left-footed kicker, and it's a fake. Clayton Brown, the holder, rolls out. He has enough room. Yes, and the 2 points is good for Bunnell. So the Bunnell fans going crazy here. With 9:04 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Tigers have been stunned as Bunnell comes up with 8 quick points. And it is now the Bulldogs 15 and the Tigers 14. Pedersen sent the boot. Sullivan and Piggott are deep. And Piggott will field the ball at about the 18, over the 25. Looks for running room right. Falls up over the 30 to about the 32, where the Tigers will take over.
Very crucial possession for Hand here. Tigers, for the first time all year, find themselves trailing in a football game. At this point, they've got to make something happen.
First and 10, Hand from its 32.
First and 10, Tigers from the 32. Offense remains the same. Bryce and Piggott in the backfield. Sullivan slots the bottom of your screen, 9 to tight. Duncanson is a split, and Piggott is hit hard at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play.
Number 67, Jim Denton, was the man who made the hit on that play. And apparently Bunnell worked a little bit on that off-tackle play in the locker room at halftime, because they defensed that one very, very well. It defensed that one particularly well.
All-important series for the Tigers as Bunnell had marched the ball downfield here in the opening minutes of the 3rd quarter. Tigers looking to get something going here. 2nd down and 10. And a pass going out to the sidelines to Nye. He catches it out over the 40 to about the 41, and it'll be short of a first down.
Nice catch by Timmy Nye on that play. He juggled the ball. He had the defender draped all over him. He kept his concentration, kept his poise, pulled the ball in for about an 8-yard gain.
3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Duncanson to the right, along with Sullivan in the slot. Nice splits out to the left side. Thompson fumbles the snap. Flags are down.
I think you may have a procedure penalty here.
Procedure against the Tigers. Well, that'll back them up 5 instead of being the 4th or 3rd and 2. That'll be 3rd and 7.
Thompson picked up a blitz on that play. He saw the linebacker starting to come, and I think he tried to pull out a little bit quick and wound up getting into the illegal procedure situation.
Now a passing situation for the Tigers, and Thompson in a shotgun straight drop over the middle for Nye, in and out of his hands and almost intercepted. Number 20, that's Mark Pedersen, going both ways, almost on the interception. So Thompson will be forced to punt it away.
Bulldogs, very, very good defensive play there. Good stand, and Hand's going to have to punt it away here.
Thompson boots the ball from about the 28-yard line. Line drive goes over the head, back down to the 5-yard line. And Bike takes it over the left side. And he's tripped up short of the 20-yard line. And that's Justin Murphy over there for the hit. Ball be spotted at about the 19-yard line. The 1st and 10 from there for Bunnell. We should note also that interesting call early in the game. Bunnell had won the toss, and they had option to take the second half kickoff, and they kicked off early in the game. And in the opening minutes here, they took the ball, drove the ball for a 15-14 lead. So looking back, coaches made a nice call,
yes,
taking the option of having the ball in the second half.
Certainly did. We're going to have a penalty on Bunnell here, probably for either offside or procedure.
15 for the Bulldogs.
Bunnell's first penalty of the night, only the third of the ball game.
And the give is to Sikelski, up close to the 20-yard line and the original line of scrimmage. Bring up about second and about 10. Should note that the Bunnell offense, their running game, good running game thus far, behind the blocking of John Mayer, their 5'9", 190-pound senior center. Pete Brown and Greg Bruno are the guards. Mike Roman and Roy Istvin are the tackles. And Sturma and Vike are the ends. Second down, and they'll call it 9. And Wojciechowski carries the ball up over the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
Across the 25 to about the 26.
We'll mark at the 26. Sullivan in on the tackle.
We've got third down and a long 3 here. That's what the Bulldogs do. They had a 1st and 15. They ran the ball twice, and now they're faced with just a 3rd and 3. This is a very big play here for Hand. The Tigers want field position. They've got to stop this one.
Eric Zimmerman in the bottom of your screen. And may have been Wojciechowski on the carry.
No, that was Pedersen inside.
And it didn't go anywhere. Brings up a 4th down situation for the Bulldogs.
Pagnataro and Hughes in on the stop on that play. That was a very big play defensively for Hand, because the Hand should come up with half-decent field position out of this.
Not much wind, but what wind there is in the face of the punter, Sturma. And his punt is extremely short, takes a Tiger bounce, and is fielded at the Bunnell 38-yard line by the fullback, Wojciechowski. So the Tigers have excellent field position, 1st and 10 from the 38.
I don't think that's right.
1st and 10, Tigers. Thompson sprinting out. He will run the ball behind the blocking of Piggott and Rice. And Thompson up close to the 30-yard line. Spotted at about the 31-yard line.
Linebacker Dave Jankowski had a shot at Thompson in the backfield. He dove for him. Thompson stepped right over him, got a couple of blocks from his backs, and took it for 7 yards.
2nd and 3 for the Tigers. They trail 15-14, 4:49 to go, 3rd quarter. Bill Leckie into the game. He splits out to the right. Sullivan to the left. Thompson sprints left. Looks for Sullivan across the middle. Incomplete at the 18-yard line.
Sullivan took a shot to the thigh on that play. He's down. Off on his own power, and he may be back in the ballgame. That'd be a big loss if he was out.
3rd and 3. The pitch goes to Piggott right side. He'll get enough for the 1st down before taken out of the bounds by Mark Pedersen. Ball at 27-yard line. 1st and 10, Tigers. Mike Ciotti, first one out of the huddle. He'll center the ball to David Thompson. Bryce still in there at fullback. Piggott the tailback. Scott and Bob Duncanson to the left. Thompson sprints out that way. Looks to run, then decides to pass. Looking deep for Duncanson. And Bobby Duncanson. The pass, the touchdown. 27 yards from David Thompson at 4:32. Left in the 3rd quarter. Thompson and Scott Duncanson hook up on a nice touchdown pass play.
Very nice pass by David Thompson. That was Scott Duncanson. Sorry to the Duncanson family. Scott, not Bob. Very, very nice leaping, tumbling catch in the end zone. Thompson put that ball right on the money. Scott Duncanson had about a step on the defense, and he made a great catch in the end zone. That's something Hand needed. May wake the Tigers up here a little bit.
Simmons on to try the extra point. Put the Tigers in front by 5. On the fake, Sullivan to 9 is incomplete. right in the corner of the end zone.
Well-conceived play. Timmy Nye, he's banging his head with his hands a little bit. He just dropped a ball that was wide open. Matt Sullivan laid it in there perfectly.
So with 4:32 left in the third quarter, the Tigers have bounced back on front. They now lead the Bulldogs of Bunnell by a score of 20-16. Thompson sent the boot. Mark Pedersen deep. And the ball be fielded by Bite inside the 20, over the 25. And he'll be taken down by a swarm of hand tacklers at about the 27-yard line.
Dennis Simmons made the initial hit on that play. And the rest of the hand defense caught up very quickly. Good job. Hold Bunnell inside the 30-yard line on a 13-yard return.
If you like spaghetti, you're in luck. There's a spaghetti dinner Wednesday, October 10th from 4:30 to 8 o'clock at the high school cafeteria to benefit the Daniel Hand High Band. Tickets available at the high school and at the Madison Traders Men's Store. $4 for adults, $3 for students and senior citizens. First play from scrimmage is a keeper by Clayton Brown. He stumbles forward for maybe 2. Call it 2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Hand defense contained that pretty well. Timmy Nye got a hand on him, spun him around, and the pursuit came across and made the play, held him to a 2-yard gain. That's what you've got to do against the wishbone. You've got to force it into 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations. Situations the wishbone's not as comfortable with as playing 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 2.
2nd down 8. And Wojciechowski, the ball carrier, and he maybe picks up 2, bring up 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs.
And number 66, Justin Murphy.
Nye, Murphy, Ash Edwards all in on the stop there, and we set up a 3rd and 5 situation, which is basically where the hand defense would like to have that Bunnell offense all night.
3rd, and it's a long 5, closer almost to 6 yards for the Bulldogs. And the fake is to Wojciechowski. Clayton Brown keeps the ball, will not get enough of the first down. Piggott and Hughes and Simmons all in on the tackle just over the 35-yard line.
Dennis Simmons came across, made the initial hit, and he was the one who stopped him about a yard or so shy of the first down, set up the punt situation.
Thompson drops deep for the Tigers along with Kevin Piggott. Sturma is the punter for Bunnell.
Bulldogs are going to have to use up a timeout here. They had a little bit of confusion as to what they were doing. They've called timeout. Bulldogs
down.
Bulldogs taking a gamble.
One big gamble here with the ball just at about the 36-yard line. Wojciechowski pulls forward and he gets it. Big play for the Bulldogs, and it will be enough, it appears, for the first down. Although
there's a Bunnell man injured. The injured player kind of hobbled off the field. That would be a big loss for the Bulldogs on the defensive line.
1st and 10, Wojciechowski up to about the 45-yard line. And the Tigers have not been able to stop that fullback most of the night here.
And again, it's a big first down play. 7-yard gain sets Bunnell up where it wants to be. 2nd and short.
2nd and 3.
Clock winding down here on the 3rd quarter. 1:30 left to go. Bunnell at its own 45-yard line is trying to get something started here.
2nd down 3, and the give is to Sikelski up to midfield.
The ball carrier stopped at midfield by Simmons.
You got the first down. Dennis Simmons basically saved a big play there. If he didn't make the ankle tackle on that one, might have been off to the races.
And the holes seem to be much bigger here in the second half for Bunnell.
Again, a lot of the hand players going 2 ways, maybe starting to feel it a little bit up in front.
Rob Vibber now in the game on defense for the Tigers. 8 men up close. Wojciechowski pulls forward for maybe 4. Oh, it's 2nd and 6.
Please on the tackle for hand.
Bobby Hughes and Mike Ciotti in on the stop there. But again, it's a first down play, 4 or 5 yards at a crack.
2nd and 6, under 30 seconds to go, third quarter. The Tigers have a 5-point lead, 20-15. And a slant pass wide open to Sturma inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line. That slant pass been hooking up nice for Bunnell, who supposedly only threw the ball about 5 times a game, but I think they've thrown it a few more than 5 here tonight.
That's the first pass of the second half that I can remember. Bulldogs threw 7 times in the first half. All his completions so far have been for first downs, and they've all been to Scott Sturma.
First down 10 for Bunnell. And movement.
We have illegal procedure. I believe that number 67 for the Bulldogs, the
62 maybe, the left guard, was it?
no, Jim Denton, I believe, on that left side. 67, kind of left the count too soon.
Has ended. Change fields, and we're just about set for fourth quarter action. The Hand Tigers, second-ranked team in the state, holding on to a 5-point lead to score 20-15. First and 15 for Bunnell. Fake to Wojciechowski. Clayton Brown on a keeper to about the 35-yard line.
Sullivan in on the stop along with Piggott, but Bunnell faced now with a 2nd and 11 play. Clayton Brown has proven himself to be very adept at running this wishbone offense so far, running it when he has to and handing it off when he has to.
And Bunnell seemingly picking up 4 or 5 yards almost at will here in the second half. 2nd and 11. Clayton Brown is tackled for a loss.
That time the Hand defense stunted again, and Mike Ciotti getting up off the bottom of the pile. Hand did what Coach Larry Ciotti said it had to, which was to disrupt that mesh point between the quarterback and the fullback. If he can't make that first fake and he gets hung up in there, the defense has a chance to make the play for a loss.
3rd down, 12, loss of 1 on the play. 10:50 to go in the ball game.
This time Sturma getting double teamed.
And a slant pass. I'm not sure if Clayton Brown pulled the ball back at the last second or if actually it was deflected.
Brown started to pass, and Vibberts and Murphy were all over him, and I'm not sure really whether they actually batted the ball down or whether he just kind of dropped the ball out of his own hands. But from the way the officials are marking it, they considered it to be a fumble rather than a pass play. And this brings up a 4th and very long, 4th and something over 20 for the Bulldogs. So that drive kind of stalled out with a couple of good defensive plays by the Tigers.
Sturma set to punt the ball to Thompson and Piggott. Big rush. Vibbert almost in there to block it. Ball goes out of bounds. And let's see where they'll mark it at about the 25-yard line. So the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25.
And he did not get the first down on the punt. That time Vibberts had a real good rush, just missed blocking that one. Hand right here would like to run some time down off the clock, get another score.
High formation, 1st and 10 Tigers. Pitch to Piggott, left side behind McGooey. Cuts back inside. Sullivan makes a block up over the 35. Piggott down at about the 36-yard line. Enough for a Tiger first down.
That play put Kevin Piggott up unofficially here to 17 carries for 95 yards for the night. 5 yards shy of that 100-yard mark.
first and 10. They send Lecky to the top of the screen. Bob Duncan sitting at the slot back for Sullivan. High, tight right. Play is up the middle to Piggott. Looks for some room. Puts his head and the ball up close to the 39.
Getting up off the bottom of that pile, Chris Bryce and Tim Nye leading the blocking that time. Gain of just not quite 4 yards.
Give Piggott 3 on the carry and mark it at 2nd and 7. And 8 minutes and change to go here in the ball game. Once again, they try to go up the middle. Piggott, he's hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Time number 55 for the Bulldogs, which would be Lee Casey, and he did a nice job of stuffing that play right up, stood his blocker up, shut him, and was kind of waiting there for Kevin Piggott.
Important play here for the Tigers, as they would not like to turn it over this quickly here. 3rd down and 7. Thompson sprinting right. He'll run behind Piggott and Bryce. Leaps forward over the 45 to about the 46-yard line and very close to a first down.
David Thompson just simply dove over 3 Bunnell players on that one. That's going for the first down, and it looks perhaps like he does have it. The officials are giving it to him. They're not even measuring it. Great play by David Thompson. That's definitely a will to win.
The annual football parents dance will be held Saturday, October the 27th from 9 to 1 at the Hammonasset School. Music provided by the Big John Seville disc DJ show, and everybody is welcome, so I hope you'll turn out for that and support the Tigers. 1st and 10, Piggott slips down for a loss of a couple. Bring up 2nd and 12 for the Tigers.
Kevin simply slipped making his cut on that play. He was trying to cut it upfield. He saw a hole, and his feet went out from under him before he could get there.
Dennis Simmons, I believe for the first time, checks in tonight at fullback. Chris Bryce, doing most of the blocking for Kevin Piggott all season long, comes to the sideline for a breather. 2nd down and 12. 7:27 to go here in the ball game. And a quick hitter up to Simmons over the 45 to about the 46, back to the original line of scrimmage. They'll give him 2. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Once again, Lee Casey in there on the hit for Bunnell, along with number 67, Jim Denton. Should set up a passing down for the Tigers here with 3rd and 10, right around the 45-yard line, right across the 45.
Lecky, Bob Duncanson to the left. Thompson sprints out that way behind Bryce and Piggott. Throws the ball off one leg, intended for Lecky, but it's short and falls incomplete at about the 23.
The officials ruled that he trapped the ball on that play. David Thompson threw that ball about 40 yards in the air, throwing across his body, going the opposite way. He has got a very, very strong arm. One of the many reasons that a lot of college coaches would love to have David Thompson sign a letter of intent.
Although all night long we've seen Thompson short on almost all his pass plays. Slight wind, and Thompson will punt the ball into it. Boots the ball from his 35. Beautiful punt, fielded by Pedersen at the 20. Looks to run right. Tigers look to have him penned in. Siani on the leg tackle along with Simmons and number 74 for the Tigers, who is not on your program if you're following the game by a program.
Which we are. And I think that is the first time all year we've run into that problem.
I will go out on a limb and take a guess and say it was Pete Shaler. I will go out on a limb. Just from the looks of things down there, I think it might have been Pete Shaler in on the tackle. Bunnell takes over here. 1st and 10. Flags are down.
I missed that one. I'm not sure what they're going to call here. Illegal procedure on Bunnell.
Well, that'll back him up 5. Big make it 1st and 15.
So far, that's been Hand's best first down defensive play. For the Bulldogs, again with that basically ground defense, just under 6 minutes left to go in the ball game. Hand with a 5-point lead.
1st and 15. They go into a passing situation here. Pedersen catches the ball over the 40, cuts inside, gets away from Thompson and Sullivan and Vibert, and finally taken down by Simmons and Piggott at the 42-yard line. Nifty bit of running from Mark Pedersen.
Pedersen did an outstanding job there, and Brown also did a very good job because Tim Nye was putting a pretty good pass rush on him. And when Timmy gets those arms up in the air, he's an imposing target to throw over. Brown just got the ball over Nye's outstretched arms, dumped it to Pedersen. Pedersen did a fine job with the ball when he got it.
Pedersen definitely having the best moves and the best speed of the 3 running backs. Of course, Wojciechowski has carried the ball up the middle most of the night, pulling his way forward, a very strong runner. Sikelski hasn't seen much action from the tailback position.
That time, Mike Ciotti and Bob Hughes in there on the stop. 2nd and 8.
Wojciechowski, the ball carrier, once again. When he gets the ball, it's definitely 2 or 3 up the middle almost every play. Sometimes this evening, 4, 5, and 6 for Wojciechowski. 2nd down, 8. They go with 2 split ends. And it's Pedersen. And he gets inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line, a couple yards short of a first down.
Ash Edwards on the hit on that one, and this is a very big play right here for Hand with a 3rd and 2. Actually, perhaps 2 big plays because Bunnell might consider itself to be in 4th down territory here with 4.5 minutes to go in the ballgame.
The Tigers with close to 9 men up close, looking for Wojciechowski. He does get the carry, and he'll be up close to the first down.
I believe he's got it, depending on where the official marks it. If you're going left foot or right foot, he doesn't have it because he's marking it with the right foot.
He does appear to have a nice spot, though. I didn't think he had gotten forward for the first down, but from here it does appear that he does have the first down.
And we're going to call the measurement in.
And we'll have a measurement.
Even if they don't get it, you know the Bulldogs are going to go for it on 4th down. And it's academic because they have it by most of the length of the football. Up here right now, Chris.
1st and 10, and of course what Bunnell would like to do here is keep the ball driving for a few first downs, try to run the clock out at the same time that they score. Under 4 to go. Slant pass to Zimmerman is complete inside of 25 to about the 24-yard line for a nice pickup for Bunnell, running that slant pass to perfection here this evening, and there's 3:40 to go and counting, and should Bunnell continue to move the ball downfield, they could virtually score here and not give the Tigers enough time to get back on the board.
Well, again, when you have David Thompson and the receivers that he has, he's shown that he can run 2-minute drills.
Let's give this Bunnell team a lot of credit. By far the best team the Tigers have seen thus far. I believe a better team than Maloney. Ball carrier just into the ball game.
It was Wojciechowski on the carry.
Okay, it was Wojciechowski to about the 18. 1st and 10. Hawk counting down. By the time the play gets off, it'll be close to 3 minutes to go in the ball game.
Might be interesting to see if he maybe tries to throw here. Bite came in and said something to him in the huddle.
And Tate Brown on the option, lots of room. Carries the ball up to about the 6-yard line. Sullivan and Piggott.
We should have a 1st and goal.
Stopped by Sullivan and Piggott at the 6.
Tigers have not been able to shut off Clayton Brown that well on the option. He hasn't pitched the ball out to the second man that often, and the Tigers still have not been able to shut it down.
He hasn't had to particularly. He sees that opening. He cuts it up very, very well. He does a nice job as a quarterback here.
Wojciechowski pulls forward for a couple inside the 5-yard line. He'll spot it at about the 3-yard line. And there's 2:25 to go, and the clock is moving.
Bobby Hughes got up off the bottom of that pile, made the play, but it's still a 2- or 3-yard game. Wojciechowski doing a nice job coming up the middle again. And Bulldogs are going to have to use another timeout here.
Second down from the 3-yard line, 2:11 to go. And Wojciechowski pulls forward to about the 1.
It was just a massive push forward. Wojciechowski fighting for everything that he could get. Hand defense trying to keep him out of the end zone. Hand won that one, but only by a couple of inches. Looks like Bunnell's got 2 cracks from inside the 1. And time now down to around 1:40 by the time they snap it.
Probably be Wojciechowski again. It is, and he scores. And the Bunnell fans are going wild as they sense an upset here tonight. The Bunnell Bulldogs, with 1:35 to go, have jumped ahead in this ball game, 21-20. And Pedersen comes on to attempt the extra point that would put them ahead with 2 points ahead, 22-20, with only 1:35 to go. And the Tigers will be forced to go into the wind here, moving left to right with 1:35 to go. Ed Bunnell takes a timeout. So with 1:35 to go, and we're awaiting the extra point try for Pedersen, it's the Bulldogs 21 and the Tigers 20. And the Bulldogs have decided to go for 2. And Brown attempts a slant pass, decides to keep it, and he's knocked down. So they don't make the 2. Thompson on the hit. So the Tigers a victory, 1:35 to go. They trail now 21-20.
That was a play Bunnell had to make. The 1 point's not going to do him any good if Bulldogs just, you know, two-point lead's not going to help. If he could get within field goal range, at least 3 assures Bunnell of a tie. So it was a very good decision, gambling decision, but a good gamble by Bob Mastroni. Called his last time out to do it. Now Hand is in a situation where the Tigers have got to get a good run back, and then set David Thompson to work with his 1:35 drill. I'd look for some sort of a squib kick here rather than a long one.
Pedersen tees it up. Thompson and Piggott. They'll look to give the Tigers some good field position if they can get their hands on the ball.
And that, we'll remember, was a problem last week against Maloney. Hand fumbled 2 onside kicks by Maloney. That might be an interesting call here to see if Bunnell really wants to gamble. Try the onside kick.
Pedersen, no, he boots it. It'll be fielded by Thompson at about the 20. 25-yard line. Big hole up the middle. 30, 35, 40. Thompson up to about the 43-yard line. 57 yards for the touchdown. Although a field goal is possible, Thompson supposedly can boot the ball 40, 45 yards anyway.
Yeah, he only tried one last year that I can recall. That was in the state title game. Last play of the first half against East Catholic was just wide with a 37-yarder. He had plenty of distance on it. Hand starting out in the wishbone, and the shotgun.
111, Thompson being pursued, forced to run the ball. He throws it deep. Sullivan's out there. Sullivan has the ball at the 22-yard line. Something the Bunnell defense did not want to do. Let a Hand offensive man get beyond them. Sullivan from Thompson down to the 21-yard line. Biggest play of the night thus far.
I'll tell you, the Tigers aren't quite dead yet. This is why they're ranked and regarded highly in the state of Connecticut. David Thompson, always dangerous. Got chased out of the pocket, got pursued, fired the ball on the run. A strike to Matt Sullivan, who made the catch, got upended by Zimmerman. Hand at the 21-yard line with 1:03 to go.
1:03 to go. excitement all around. 1st and 10, Tigers. They trail by 1. Piggott, the ball carried behind Murphy. And Hughes, and he's knocked out of bounds. And he'll spot it at about the 16-yard line. And the clock stops with 58 seconds to go.
That gain of 5 unofficially puts Kevin Piggott at 21 carries for 101 yards. And that continues a long streak of hand running backs over 100 yards. Just how long? Read Paul Nichols' story in the Shoreline Times tomorrow and he'll tell you.
Lecky man-to-man coverage on the left side. Down, out, and down. He's open deep. Lecky, oh, in and out of his hands in the end zone. Lecky had drawn man-to-man coverage on the left side, was open on the down, out, and down. In and out of his hands in the end zone.
And he had number 34, Zimmerman, dead to rights on that play. He just could not quite hold on to the ball. David Thompson got it there nicely. He just couldn't quite hold on to it.
3rd down and 5. The plays get bigger and bigger here. 51 seconds to go. And the Tigers, this would be their 25th consecutive regular season win. If they can do it, they trail by 1, 21-20. Lecky once again, man-to-man coverage. Pitches to Piggott. Over the 15, cuts back inside. Inside the 10, fires, doubles forward. Touchdown! 44 seconds to go. Kevin Piggott.
Bobby Hughes and Justin Murphy set that play up with 2 very, very pretty blocks to the outside. And Kevin Piggott once again read the blocks, made that cut back inside, got the legs going, and just churned right into the end zone. This is a money football team right here.
Kevin Piggott with the touchdown to put the 2nd-ranked Tigers in front now, 26-21, and Simmons will come on and try the extra point. And the Tigers will call timeout as they may want to go for 2 here. They'll think about it. 26-21, the Tigers in front, 44 seconds to go.
Tigers,
so with 44 seconds to go, the Tigers will look for 2, try to extend their 5-point lead to a 7-point lead. Thompson sprints right, he'll run it, but now he underhands it to Lecky. Sort of a forward lateral almost from Thompson. It's complete to Lecky in the right-hand corner of the end zone. The Tigers have a 7-point lead with 44 seconds to go. They lead 28-21.
David Thompson just kind of shoveled a pass. It's not a forward lateral. A lateral has to go backwards, and it can be thrown overhand. He did throw that ball underhand, kind of shoveled it. Billy Lecky is there, and that puts the Tigers in a situation of being up 7, which means that Bunnell has to score and go for 2 and get it to win the ball game. 44 seconds to go. Let's see if the Bulldogs can produce as much excitement as the Tigers did. Hand took less than a minute.
Well, the Bulldogs will have their work cut out for them. With the wishbone offense, with 44 seconds to go, they'll have to throw the ball, something that they have done well tonight, but only in short distances, mostly with a slant pattern. Is about the only, just about the only offensive pass play we've seen from them. It'll be hard to go march downfield with 44 seconds to go on just a slant pattern alone.
Especially because Bunnell has no timeouts left. That timeout Bunnell had to take before making the gamble on the 4th down play in the 3rd quarter when it couldn't decide whether to punt or not, may come back to haunt the Bulldogs here.
See if Thompson squib kicks it here. Yes, he does.
That's a good one, too.
And the ball fielded up the 20, 25, 30. I think it's Kelski with the ball over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. So 63 yards to go. And a chance to win it for Bunnell. They've got 39 seconds to do it.
We see Hamp play a little bit more loosely here, probably double teamed on both sides with wide outs. We'll see if Bunnell breaks its wishbone for the first time tonight or if it stays with the bone.
Kevin Piggott, 27 yards deep.
Bunnell did break the bone.
Fumble. Picked up by Pedersen. He'll run over the 50, inside the 50, inside the 45. A fumble that wasn't seen by anybody except for Pedersen. He picked the ball up, ran the ball inside the 45 to about the 43, so what could have been a major problem for Bunnell has turned into a big gainer. 16 seconds to go, and ball at the 43-yard line.
That's the first time tonight Bunnell has broken its wishbone. It came out with with what the University of Connecticut, when it ran the wishbone, often did that and called a broken bone. Basically 2 of the 3 in the wishbone and an extra wide out. They're doing the same thing again here.
Clayton Brown looking to the left. He'll run now. He's got running room. And he is not out of bounds.
The officials should not call this out of bounds. They're winding the clock down, and the ball game is over. Oh, there it is. Ball game now is over.
So that'll do it. The Tigers, who scored on a 16-yard touchdown run from Kevin Piggott with only 44 seconds left, have held on, lost the lead, then came back. 28-21 is the final here. The second-ranked Tigers win their 25th consecutive regular season game. 28-21 over a very game Bunnell Bulldogs of Stratford.
This was the night that Hand proved itself to be a football team. The Tigers maybe a little bit flat on a Thursday night, caught between a rock and a hard place. Maloney last week, North Branford next week, playing an unknown quantity in Bunnell. Bunnell, a very well-coached, well-disciplined football team, ran its wishbone extremely well, kind of jammed it down the Tigers' throats. But Hand, with David Thompson hitting Matt Sullivan with that big pass play on the run to set up what turned out to be the winning touchdown. Kevin Piggott's 16-yard run with 44 seconds to go in the ball game. You can't ask for a greater finish.
So a week from tomorrow night, it'll be the Tigers taking on the T-Birds of North Branford in North Branford, and that'll be the first Shoreline Conference game for the Tigers this year.
And North Branford, going into this weekend's action, also undefeated, 2-0-1. Had a tie with North Haven the first week of the year, has won its 2 ball games since then, and is doing it without the very dangerous Drew Como, who was a captain and a big running back for the T-Birds. He was injured in a scrimmage with West Haven, broke a bone in his leg, may be back by the end of the season, but right now North Branford has come up with a very good football team, even without Drew Como, and that's always a big game for the Tigers.
And the T-Birds, of course, be looking for revenge for last season's 27-0 Tiger victory. Well, hope you'll tune in for that one. For Hal Levy, I'm Chris Wallach from the Surf Club in Madison. The final here, the second-ranked Tigers coming back to win it.
Hand Tiger Football is brought to you by a grant from First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Madison, serving the Shoreline community for over 50 years. Madison Community TV would like to thank the Hand Tiger Football Boosters Club for their support and the videotape that is used for all Hand Tiger games.